Always great to hear from Andy McCarthy, and really cool that his brother Luke won the Miracle Mile behind Don Hugo. But nonetheless, this is International Women's Day, and I'm so happy to be joined by the better half of the Littles, Debbie Little, of course, associate editor from Harness Racing Update. Debbie, thank you so much for coming and partaking tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Jess. I really appreciate it. I don't know that my husband would say better half, but, on International Women's Day, I'll take it.
Right. First and foremost, pretty exciting for you this year. You're being inducted into the Harness Racing Hall of Fame on the communicator side. Dave was inducted probably a handful of years ago, and you told me a cool little tidbit before we got on air.
Cool tip. Okay. Now,
you and Dave are the first married
okay.
couple.
I'm sorry. Yeah, see, I'm usually the one asking the questions, not answering them. So, yes, my husband and I are the first married couple going into the Communicators Hall. And even though there are married people in the living hall, none of them both went in living.
Okay.
So we are the first living couple to go into any part of the Harness Racing Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York.
That is pretty exciting and a nice little tidbit. I'm sure people didn't know about that. But we're going to send it to Ken Workington, I believe, for the post-parade of race number 5, and then we're going to 9, excuse me, and then we're going to be back with more with Debbie. Alrighty, we are back with Debbie Little. More on kind of the day-to-day basis of what you do, Debbie. You're the associate editor at Harness Racing Update. So kind of just tell me a little bit about what that entails, because I know I get an email about 3 a.m. Friday morning and 4 a.m. Sunday morning. So it's my Friday and Sunday morning read from Harness Racing Update.
Well, I am not responsible for what time the information is sent out. That is not me. I am simply responsible for editing the content.
Okay.
So I work with Dave Briggs, who is my boss, who is an incredible writer, and I feel that he is equally responsible for me going into the Hall of Fame because he's taught me so much.
Yeah.
But I read every story that comes in. So you just came back from Australia, and I read a lot from Adam Hamilton, who writes. He's our Down Under correspondent. So you were talking about Luke McCarthy winning with Don Hugo.
Yeah.
So I know all about the Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that, and what goes on in Europe and Canada. And I am blessed to be the person who writes about the Meadowlands every week.
So you're like a worldwide harness racing, you know everything that's going on.
Well, I know everything that gets
Published.
written, written for HRU. But yeah, we try to have a lot of content because maybe everybody doesn't want to read about Europe or Down Under, but we cover a lot of stuff going on currently, a lot of historical things and stuff all across the country. So yeah, we have a good wide-ranging publication.
So you told me that you and Dave used to do the dueling little. Is that what it was called? Is that what it was called? And you kicked his butt, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's funny. People used to root for me, which I didn't understand because Dave had been doing it longer, but he was working for the Daily News. I worked at the New York Post, so we handicapped and we dueled. And funny story, one time we get off camera and this guy walks up to Dave and said, yeah, you know what you're doing, it's really great, doing this handicapping segment with your daughter. And Dave's like, okay, calm down. She's my wife. I'm not that much older.
Oh my goodness! So it's been a while since you've handicapped because you're actually going to be doing Little's Light Double tonight.
I handicapped for nearly 27 years at the New York Post until they let me go because of COVID in 2020. So I can honestly tell you I have not handicapped on a daily basis since 2020. But I'd like to hope that 27 years of,
And you watch these races every weekend. It's not like you're coming in blindsided.
No, not at all. I know all the drivers. I know the horses. I have to watch it for Harness Racing Update.
Right.
And for my job, for writing about it.
I'm going to throw you a curveball with 60 seconds left to go. What was your favorite maybe race or memory from 2024?
Ooh, boy.
Not even something that you covered. It could have just been simply
I'm
something
just
you enjoyed
trying
watching.
to think. Gosh. You know, I think my favorite memory was Chris Ryder actually, with Twinbee Joe Fresh becoming Horse of the Year.
Like the story
I
fulfilling.
realized, yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess with Jiggy Jog ass too, because I knew she would be Trotter, I knew, and that Twinbee Joe Fresh would be Pacer, and I was happy for Chris Ryder getting his Horse of the Year
And,
after finishing second 3 straight years.
Right, and deservingly so too. Such a phenomenal animal, the crew that they have, and he's going into the Hall of Fame as well this year. So it's like a
Yes.
fairy tale, kind of roundabout story.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm excited for everybody going into the Hall of Fame. And I'm going into the Hall of Fame with another woman.
That's awesome.
Judy Davis Wilson.
Yes.
So there will be 2 women going in, celebrating International Women's Day.
yes.
Two communicating women going in.
All right. Well, thank you, Debbie. We'll have more from you later on with Little's Late Double, of course, and we appreciate all you do for the sport of harness racing and here at the Big M. So we will send it up to Ken for race number 9. This closes out that early pick 4 sequence. Emily and I will be back after the replay to give out the late pick 4 tickets. Good luck. Ken has your call.